like got through life on my privilege type shit. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah. Although he checks the boxes, if you're Republican, he's a straight white Christian male.
And not just that, but like I I can't get over how much he doesn't know. Like when Senator Duckworth, um,
Oh, that was
she
great.
pressed him about seams. What was it called, Steve?
She asked him about some of the agreements that he would be responsible for signing. I forget what the term was. Somebody may know, but there are three in particular. And he couldn't name one. He couldn't name one.
Yeah, and like the allyship amongst
ASEAN, yeah, the
Asian
ASEAN,
ASEAN.
ASEAN, exactly. Thank you,
Yeah,
Jess.
and
Exactly.
he named off Japan, Korea, and Australia, and she's like, none of those countries are in that agreement.
Yeah. Well,
Oh
like I
God.
said, the most unqualified person to ever be nominated for a cabinet position. I mean, Pam Bondi, at least she served as an AG. Marco Rubio, relatively harmless. If we're lucky, he's probably the most qualified of anybody that's been referenced in these cabinet positions. But Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, and Pete Hegseth. I mean, my gosh, like seriously.
And let's not forget the director of intelligence too. What's her freaking name?
Oh, Tulsi Gabbard, forgot all about her. Oh
Tulsi
yeah,
Gabbard.
Comrade Tulsi, you mean?
Ah, Steve.
Yeah.
Comrade Tulsi, we're literally going to have a Russian asset in charge of our intelligence community.
Uh huh.
Like, think about that, people. That's where we're going to be right now. And we're all going to be focused on the internals while the externals are just free and available for any outside entity to have access to, so long as they upfront a good price.
I
Like,
mean,
it's fuck.
it wouldn't even matter. I mean, Tulsi's bad enough, but the soon to be 47th president withheld national
Yep.
defense information and secrets. And again, no evidence to the fact, but do we think that he only shared it with a reporter, and that he only shared it with a Russian billionaire? Come on.
No, and that's the other thing too, is like even if he didn't willfully share it, we know that people had access to it that he may not know of because he put it in a bathroom at Mar-a-Lago.
Correct.
Like, and the thing that's
I want
really
straight rights in America.
Sorry.
no, you
Um,
could. I love that, by the way. And this whole entire transgender sports fucking bill that they're passing is the most un-Republican thing I've ever heard in my life. It's an expansion of big government, and it
mhm.
puts big government in control of institutions, which is weird because you want to get rid of the Department of Education. So who enforces where the money goes if they're allowing transgender athletes to play sports? Wouldn't it be the Department of Ed who provides federal funding to these institutions?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's part of it. People don't understand what the Department of Education does. They think it sets curriculum. It doesn't. But the primary one of the primary functions of the DOE is to provide support for IEP programs, support for special needs children, Pell
Pell Grant.
Grants. Yeah,
Well, and
all
that's
this kind of stuff.
and I think that's what my point is like if you're going to enforce this, then you are enforcing it through the Department of Ed. If you're telling the Department of Ed we are not going to release federal Pell money to institutions that allow transgender athletes in sports. That
Correct.
means you need the Department of Ed in order to implement this law.
Yep. Yep. Of course.
They're idiots, Steve.
Yeah, my guy. They are. They're idiots. They're Christian nationalists. And they brag about it, and they're loud and they're proud about it. And because we have lazy, entitled voters on the left, and we have willfully ignorant Christian nationalist, fascist, grape apologists on the right, the rest of us are fucked.
Oh, dude. Well, I'm not fucked. I'm gonna use the patriarchy against itself. That's what I'm gonna fucking do. Gotta
Be a traitor.
rebel.
Be your traitor to it, my guy. I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks a lot
I
for being here.
got you. Take it
Talk to
easy,
you later.
y'all.
See you, man. I want to go back. I see Jess. I want to go back and play a little bit more from the hearing because I think it's. I just heard that Pam Bondi basically won't admit that Trump lost. That's nice. Hi, Jess.
Hi. So I think I'm getting more angry as the day goes on, to be honest with you,
What
because
happens on the front line.
Sorry.
no, you're good. Now that I think about it, like how easy would it have been for him to just do his research on some of the topics that he knew that they were going to start asking him about? Like he gave a completely dumb answer when he was asked about Asheen, is that how you say it? Asheen, right? Not Ashan. Is it
I
Asheen
think
or Ashan?
yeah, I'm not sure the correct pronunciation, but ASEAN. I see. I
He
see.
said, no, I'm not aware of that.
Mhm,
She's like, yeah, obviously. Like,
mhm.
but he also didn't meet with any of them beforehand. Like he met with a few. What were they?
Only the
The
leader,
Republican ones?
only the minority leader on the Democratic side, but nobody else, no other Democratic senators, which is not, again,
Not
I guess it
normal.
doesn't happen. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's not normal. So I think whatever. I'm just getting more
Hey,
angry.
hey, B Rat in the chat. Um,
Oh gosh.
look, I know that it's hard to be exposed, and I know that you're a coward. I guess the question is, do you want to be up here and just expose your cowardice, or do you just want to stay hiding in the chat? Because our chat is eating you for lunch, which is what they always do. So if you don't want to be here, just scroll on by. We don't care. We just know that you'll be remembered as a disgrace. We know that. I'm going to play a little bit more audio from the hearing. We'll keep our eyes on the Pam Bondi piece.
Women shouldn't be in combat at all. Where is the reference to standards that they should be there if they can carry, if they can run? I don't see that at all, Mr. Hegseth. What I see is that there's a 32-day period in which you suddenly have another description about your views of women in the military. And I just want to know what changed in the 32 days that the song you sang is not the song you come in here today to sing.
Walk it back,
A little
chat.
bit, and I'm glad that you mentioned it. Can you name the importance of at least one of the nations in the ASEAN, and what type of agreement we have with at least one of those nations? And how many nations are in ASEAN, by the way?
I couldn't tell you the exact
No, you
amount of
couldn't,
nations
because
in
you've
that,
not
but I
even
know we have
bothered to
allies
do-
in South Korea and Japan and in AUKUS with Australia, trying to work
Okay.
on submarines with them.
Mr.
and data
Hegseth,
transfers
none
with
of those
them.
countries
We
are
have
in
allies
ASEAN.
across.
Interrupting
None
a
of
woman
those
yet
three
again.
countries that you mentioned are in ASEAN. I suggest you do a little homework before you prepare for these types of negotiations.
Boom.
You talk about raising or low, that we have a problem of standards in the DoD, and we have to raise standards for the men and women who serve. Do you think that the way to raise the minimum standards of the people who serve us is to lower the standards for the Secretary of Defense? That we have someone who has never managed an
Boom.
organization more than 100 people is going to come in and manage this incredibly important organization and do it with a professionalism and has no experience that they can tell us that they have actually done that? I have real problems with that. This is not about other issues that are brought up. They're all very important. I'm just about trying to get things done, managing efficiently, and having the best people who have demonstrated that in a large organization. And I'm sorry, but I don't see that in your background.
They cannot be led by someone who's not competent to do the job. How can we ask these warriors to train and perform the absolute highest standards when you are asking us to lower the standards to make you the Secretary of Defense?
So again, the common theme throughout, and it's the Democrats hammered on the fact that he is unqualified, unfit to serve. They gave examples of his lack of good character when it comes to how he presented himself publicly. They talk about his sexual assault allegations, his NDA, his infidelity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which again, he's admitted to most of these things. I'll remind people. There was the NDA that was signed, where someone was asked to sign an NDA so that the sexual abuse charges and harassment against him would not go public. All right? He in his book wrote about how in one instance he was alleged to have harassed and assaulted a woman, and he said
A
that
minor.
it was exactly, and he said it was consensual. And then when asked about that relationship, he denied it and walked it back. So it's either not consensual or it isn't, or it is. So which is it? Why not answer? 3 kids, separate wives, 7 children with 3 separate wives, infidelity, adultery. I mean, you name it. That's
And
who
he
Pete
respects
Hegseth is.
women. He respects women so much that he wrote in his book he doesn't think that mothers and women should be serving on the front line. So that's how much he
Correct.
respects women. He
Correct. As a reminder, I just saw this question. For those of you, we're going to use Discord quite a bit as we kind of navigate through the next week and a half. Someone had mentioned the link in my link tree may be expired or may be broken. Jess is a mod here. You can message Jess. We have other mods in the
Yes.
chat if you're having a difficult time joining Discord, please do so. And just as a reminder again, you can find my link to my YouTube. We're streaming, by the way. If you want to find the link to my YouTube, please do so. That's also in my link tree. We're also on Blue Sky and on Favorited, and I'm seeing a lot of people following me on Favorited. I appreciate that, guys, that you're doing that. I really, really do. I don't know yet where we're going to end up. Definitely going to be on YouTube. Don't know about Favorited yet. I'll start to learn more about it. Just want to give everybody that heads up.
Yeah, guys, Sam
please,
is in the chat, and Sam can send you the link and also get you in real time, because Sam is the do-all amazing human who just multitasks like nobody's business. So Sam is
Yes,
there, and Gregory is also there.
and I want to go out and I want to say this, and I don't want to forget, and I talk about this a lot. Obviously, there's a lot of emotional investment that's gone into this for me, right? For all of us, but it's been a 3+ years journey. Over 105,000 followers, lots of flowers from our community, which I am forever grateful for and humbled by. It would not be possible without people like Jess and Sam and Gregory and Eve and Cabin Mom and all. I don't want to miss anybody. And Moth. I don't want to miss anybody, but just the entire list. You all know who you are.
Cookie.
And yes, and Kira and everybody that's ever modded for me, or ever Erica, all of you. I appreciate you all so very much. I try to tell you that regularly. I probably don't tell you that enough. But for anybody who's ever done live streaming on this app, we could not do it without our team of mods. You all have no idea what mods do, at least from in my world. They keep me from getting in trouble. They remind me of things. Jess gently kicks me in the shin just to remind me of things. It's all with love. So hearts in the chat for mods everywhere. And next time you go into a live stream, understand that live stream would not be possible without amazing moderators. So I love you all. Thank you very much. All right. I want to say this because remember how we talk often about distractions? So here's another distraction from the soon-to-be 47th President of the United States. All this talk about disbanding the IRS, feeling that they can just replace the revenue generated through the IRS through tariffs. Well, this is what we talk about when I say distractions.
For far too long, we have relied on taxing our great people, capital letters, I don't know why, using the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, through soft and pathetically weak trade agreements. The American economy has delivered growth and prosperity to the world while taxing ourselves. It is time for that to change. I am today announcing that I will create the External Revenue Service, or ERS, to collect our tariffs, duties, he said duty, and all revenue that come from foreign sources. We will begin charging those that make money off of us with trade, and they will start paying, finally, their fair share. January 20, 2025 will be the birth date of the External Revenue Service. Make America great again!
That wouldn't have been any better if you didn't do it in that voice. That was amazing.
Well, again, the External Revenue Service, that's what we have trade agreements for. That's what we have, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. That's what we have. It's a distraction, again, to remind his voters that people's rights are being voted away in Congress, to remind his voters that people like Pete Hegseth are so they don't, no, not to remind them, but to distract them from people like Pete Hegseth being confirmed, because he will be confirmed as a SecDef. So yeah, there you go.
I always find it interesting when Trump talks about collecting tariffs or taxes, or I always find it interesting with somebody who's convicted of 34 counts of falsifying records, talks about taxes or tariffs. Like I can't understand how people can look at him and say, yeah, that's the person we want to worry about how much people pay in taxes or other countries are tariff. That's the person.
That's a really good point. Hi, Swish.
Hi, my friends. Good morning.
Babe.
I just want to say, first of all, that I just got a great attitude adjustment listening to that because it just his announcements like that just put a fine point on he is in fact the dumbest person to ever get anywhere near our elected government, the dumbest by far. But that's not what I came up here to say. First, I just want to say that I am on both sides of it. I do my own lives, as you know, but I also mod for some really great creators. And on both sides of it, I see the work that we do behind the scenes as mods, and I also appreciate the mods I have. So yeah, let's definitely give them a round of applause. But I just want to go back. I had to drop out of the box before because I had to drive my daughter. If we could go back to Jesse Waters for just one moment, I would like to invite him here in front of 636 people to fuck all the way off when he speaks about anything, and in particular women, because for anyone who doesn't know, this is the same guy who let the air out of his now wife's tires of her car.
Correct.
So that he could get her in his car and, I don't know, impress her into dating him. So I want people to understand what that entails. This is a man.
Trafficking. That's what that entails.
This is a man who laid in wait. He snuck out, let the air out of her tires. 14 years her junior, but his junior, by the way. Let the air out of her tires, laid in wait to see her in distress in that predicament, and got her in his car. So grape culture is on parade and now celebrated in our government, in our media, and it's absolutely disgusting. So again, I invite him to fuck all the way off.
And on
Yeah.
Friday, we're going to be
All the way.
talking about that and what that defines, because that's not just grape culture. That's not just misogyny. That is literally part of the definition of trafficking that we all don't understand yet. But on Friday, we will be able to put a little bit clearer of a definition of what kind of coercion that is.
I look forward to that. And of course, it's Wednesday, so we'll be continuing the conversation tonight. But thank you both. I love you so much. I just wanted to touch on that because I don't think a lot of people know that. And neither did his wife, by the way, until he made that announcement on national television.
Exactly. Exactly. I wonder if she's got buyer's remorse. Probably not, because she just,
I mean, at this point, probably not. She's in it. She's got a kid, and she fell for it, which is unfortunate. But that's what happens. We think. Listen, it's all men until it's no men, folks. That's it.
Correct. So true. Thank you, Swish, as always.
All
I
right.
appreciate you.
Can you drop me down?
I got you.
Wee.
That's become an awesome thing. I love it.
It's amazing.
Everybody, please keep tapping and sharing. Please gift our amazing panelists. If you want to support the channel, you can do so. My paps are above my head. Merch in the merch store. Check it out. There's some new things in there, including Our Schools Are Not Your Church. We're still merch is still available to help support our friends Brett and Nikki. Also, our friend Matt, who's trying to raise money to support a service dog. You can find that shirt in there as well. And there's some really cool stuff. No, we don't have information on the TikTok ban because SCOTUS has not ruled on it today, and they won't be, so likely Friday. We'll probably get that on Friday. Angie, you're not there, friend. All right, I want to go back to the hearing a little bit because I think it's necessary that we just continue to play some of these sound bites because this is what we've got coming.
Simply because you are buddies with our president-elect. And by the way, he has filed for bankruptcy 6 times. I'm not quite sure he's the kind of CEO you want to refer to as a successful businessman.
Facts.
Let me make it clear.
Or I guess I better use the senator from Virginia starts bringing up the fact that what if...
Okay, so this is Mark Wayne Mullen. So this is, again, you hear the Democrats question him on his character, right? Give us an example. Would you disqualify yourself? What about these allegations? And his response was anonymous smears, never answered a direct question. One of the members of Congress asked the question. The first question he asked was, how many push-ups can you do? How big's your gun, basically, were those questions. He's literally not even interested in his background. So this is now Mark Wayne Mullen.
If you showed up drunk to your job, how many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night?
Probably a lot.
Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down?
See what I mean?
No, but it's for show. You guys make sure you make a big show and point out the hypocrisy because a man's made a mistake. And you want to sit there and say that he's not qualified? Give me a joke. I mean, it is so ridiculous that you guys hold yourself as this higher standard and you forget you got a big plank in your eye. We've all made mistakes. I've made mistakes. And Jennifer, thank you for loving him through that mistake. No crime.
So again, just think about what we just witnessed there. Instead, give me a joke. Instead of questioning the nominee to be the next Secretary of Defense, the person responsible to manage a few million people in an $850 billion budget, largest military in the world, you instead say, hey, you ever seen any other senators drunk? Probably. You probably were too.
So let me just make this very fucking clear, this visual for the chat. This man was accused of being in a hotel room, locking the door, taking this woman's phone, and then continuing to grape her. This is not something that you do as a mistake. This is something that you do because you are a narcissistic rapist and you feel like you have that power. So your words mean nothing to me when you try to excuse that behavior and say, we've all made mistakes. I've made some. Oh, are you admitting to also forcefully raping people or nah? Because that's what it sounds like, buddy.
Yeah, pretty much. Somebody asked a question. Once he gets through committee, then it goes to a full floor vote. But if he makes it out of committee, he will become he's going to be the nominee. So let's accept it. All right, here we go. This is Tim Kaine again.
That's your definition of cleared. You had just fathered a child 2 months before by a woman that was not your wife. I am shocked that you would stand here and say you're completely cleared. Can you so casually cheat on a second wife and cheat on the mother of a child that had been born 2 months before, and you tell us you are completely cleared? How is that a complete clear?
Senator, her child's name is Gwendolyn Hope Hegseth.
Oh.
And she's a child of God, and she's 7 years old.
Of course.
And she was, and you cheated on the mother of that child less than 2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you?
Those were false charges?
Well, no.
False charges? No, you did father her out of wedlock. You cheated on your wife. You admitted it in your book. You talked about it. You said that you were forgiven for your sins. And now it's a smear campaign? What part of it is the smear campaign? What part? Oh, the actual facts in the case? That's the smear? Okay.
Fully investigated, and I was completely cleared. And I am so grateful for the marriage I have to this
you've
woman behind me.
And then tokenize his wife, who is sitting behind him, right? Tokenize her. She's got to sit there and say, holy fuck, this guy's a piece of shit. This guy's a piece of shit. What am I doing?
You've admitted that you had sex at that hotel in October 2017. You said it was consensual, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Anything,
You've admitted that it was consensual, and you were still married, and you just had a child by another woman.
again,
How do you explain your
completely
judgment?
false charges against me.
No, you admitted it in your book. Your entire argument against the sexual assault allegations was that it was consensual. Where's the smear? You admitted it. You admitted it. So for those of you cowardice, grape apologist fucks that are watching this, yes, Paul, I'm talking to you. Is that the answer that you would give? You admit to having an affair. You admit to getting your third wife pregnant while you're cheating on your second wife. And that's an anonymous smear campaign? Really? How the fuck does that work? That's new. Pretzels for subscribers. Pretzel emoji in the chat, please. By the way, for subscribers, there's a whole bunch of brand new emojis that I popped in last night. Are you kidding me? You need to hear. Everybody need to hear that part again? Yeah, let's hear that part again.
Cheat on a second wife and cheat on the mother of a child that had been born 2 months before, and you tell us you are completely cleared. How is that a complete clear?
Senator, her child's name is Gwendolyn Hope Hegseth. And she's a child of God, and she's 7 years old.
And she was, and you cheated on the mother of that child less than 2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you?
Those were false charges.
Well,
It
no,
was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared. And I am so grateful for the marriage I have.
You were not completely cleared of anything. You fucking admitted it in your book. You admitted to having the affair. You talked about it. Your argument was the sexual harassment charges against you was consensual. And now you're saying it didn't happen at all? It's in your book, my guy.
After this
No,
amazing woman behind me.
you've admitted that you had sex at that hotel in October 2017. You said it was consensual, isn't that correct?
Anything,
You've admitted that it was consensual, and you were still married, and you just had a child by another woman.
again,
How do you explain your
completely
judgment?
false charges against me.
You
Fully investigated, and I was completely.
He admitted it. Where is the false charge? So I love all you Christians who can just pray the sin away. That must be nice.
Clear.
You have admitted that you had sex while you were married to wife 2 after you just had fathered a child by wife 3. You've admitted that. Now, if it had been a sexual assault, that would be disqualifying to be Secretary of Defense, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It was a false claim then and a false claim now.
If it had been a sexual assault, that would be disqualifying to be Secretary of Defense, wouldn't it?
Ooh.
That was a false claim.
So you
Talking
can't,
about a hypothetical.
so you can't tell me whether someone who has committed a sexual assault is disqualified from being Secretary of Defense?
Senator, I know in my instance, and I'm talking about my instance only, it was a false claim.
But you acknowledge,
And it was
but you
fully
acknowledge that.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Jess. I am interviewing you to be the Secretary of Defense. Jess, would you agree that if you committed sexual assault, that you should be disqualified from holding that position?
Absolutely. Anybody who is convicted or accused of such an act should not be considered for Secretary of Defense.
Thank you. Is that hard? Why couldn't he say that? Oh, I know. It's because he fucking did it. He knows he did it. That's why he won't answer.
The meeting
Simple
last week,
answer,
it
though.
is unacceptable that you did not meet with any other Democratic members of this committee before this hearing, as has been our bipartisan tradition. During my time in the Senate, I have voted for and worked closely with Secretaries of Defense appointed by Republican presidents. While we may disagree politically, there was always an understanding that rank partisanship should have no place when it comes to providing for the men and women who serve in uniform. Each year you were in charge, lose the confidence of donors,
This part right here is great.
nor mere political opponents. We are foes. Concerned about your abilities as a competent manager of organizations far less complex than the Department of Defense. From 2008 to 2010, you led the organization Veterans for Freedom, which had an annual budget of less than $10 million. In each year you were in charge, expenses far exceeded revenues until the organization teetered on bankruptcy and had to be merged with another group.
I'll go back to that in a second. We'll bring up our next guest. This will unpack his corruption when he was in charge of a small organization, not the U.S. military. Penguin,
Right,
good morning. Penguin.
Did you?
Good morning, Penguin.
Hey,
How are you?
good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
Nothing. Do you still have your nail polish?
Yeah, I do. I need to get another one.
That is so gay, dude. I hope you know.
Why does that
Like
trigger you so much?
I'm not triggered, dude. You are.
Well, when you
No,
come
you-
up here, you
Everybody on
immediately
here
use.
is
Hang on,
laughing
Jesse.
at
Called
you.
me out. You call you. Why?
I did
you're
call
not
you out.
triggered. So you requested it. You requested to come up. And
To piss you off.
obviously, no, it doesn't
Because
piss me
you
off.
get
It just
triggered.
shows how weak
I
you
love
are.
watching you.
It just shows how weak you are.
You're weak, dude.
No, it just shows.
Why did you
literally how
invite
weak
me
you
up
are.
here?
No, you requested. I didn't
I know. Why did you allow me up here?
because you requested.
Why did you allow me up here?
Because you requested to come up. Why are you so scared, soft, and weak?
I'm not.
No,
You're
you
gay.
are.
You're scared, soft, and weak.
No. So if I were gay? What would be the problem with that?
If you were gay, there wouldn't be a problem with it. Why are you
Why is it an issue? So when
Why are you concealing it though?
so do you think being gay is a choice, Penguin?
I don't know. I'm not gay. But one second, are you gay?
When did you choose to be straight, Penguin?
Are you gay?
I'm not. When did you choose to be straight?
You don't choose to be straight.
Oh. So would that mean that you don't choose to
You
be
may
gay?
choose to be gay though. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
so you
What
oh,
I'm
okay,
saying.
so
You
gotcha.
may have a way to teach yourself to be gay. I
Oh,
don't know. I'm not
to
gay.
teach
You
yourself.
might know.
That's interesting. So again, I'm trying to figure out why you were so triggered by a man who wears nail polish.
I wasn't triggered. I thought it was funny.
Why? Why do you think it's funny? Because you said that's GAY,
Because it
dude.
looks funny, dude. I don't know.
Because it makes you uncomfortable.
No, because it looks funny.
So because you think it looks funny.
Yes. Yes.
So
everybody does.
Everybody does, really?
Yes.
You think so?
Everybody who isn't your fan. Everybody who's not a subscriber. Yes.
Really? Everybody that's not a subscriber. Okay.
Okay. Everybody who isn't your fan.
Okay.
Not everybody's going to buy your subscription.
Look
but,
at all the
yeah.
people. Look at all the people who don't think it's funny.
Yeah. All your fans.
I have lots of people.
I'm
You're
actually
a fan.
not looking.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
not
you're
really
not
a fan. I think I'm a friend, and I don't think you're funny at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm not trying to be funny. Are you talking to him?
No.
Because I'm not trying to be funny.
Well, again, I'm just trying to understand why it is that you're so scared, soft, and weak. I'm
not, dude. I love annoying you. You're scared, soft, and weak. That's
Nobody's
why
annoyed. You're just calling yourself out, dude.
Yeah, you're just.
Dude, that's why he needs several people up here to talk. That's why he's scared, soft, and weak. He just ran away.
Jess,
You do. That's why you have a woman up here.
No, I'm just going to let her.
Every time I've talked to you, you've had a woman with you.
Not on the panel. Not on the panel now, is she?
Oh, good job.
You requested.
You can finally do it alone.
You requested when there was somebody up here.
You can finally be on here alone, buddy.
Okay, so have you been waiting to get me alone?
I've been waiting to piss you off.
You're not pissing me off. You're just showing me
yes, I am. Yes, I am.
No, I know you'd like to think you are.
So where are you up to? How are you today?
So I would like you to explain to me why you voted for Donald Trump.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, actually.
Sweet. Why did you vote for Trump?
Why did you vote for Kamala? I'll explain after
first. No, I asked you the question first, and then I'll explain after you answer my question. That's how it works. We don't answer questions with questions.
That's how it works?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
You don't answer questions with questions.
Dude, you aren't important.
That's what
you can kick me off your live. That's the only power you have.
That's what scared, soft, and weak people do. They answer questions with
really?
questions.
Scared, soft, and weak people?
Yeah.
No, sweetheart.
So why don't you answer a question?
Because I want you to answer first.
Prove to me that you're not scared, soft, and weak by answering a question.
Dude, you've got ChatGPT up. You can tell me right now. I'm okay. You can even use ChatGPT.
For what?
To tell me why you want Kamala, why you like Kamala, why you voted for Kamala.
Again, I asked you the question first, my friend. Okay? Tell me why you voted
I think
for Trump.
I asked you first.
No, I asked you first.
No, I asked you first.
No, and then you responded.
No, I asked you first.
Tell me why you voted for Kamala. No, you didn't. So
what is your job again?
So because you don't answer questions, I'm just going to assume that you're scared, soft, and weak, a grape apologist, a fake Christian, willfully ignorant, and anti-American.
You can assume whatever you want. You're a moron. Nobody cares about you.
Okay.
You're not important, all right? You can assume whatever you want.
Okay, so let's do this. What did you have for breakfast?
I haven't eaten anything.
Nobody fucking cares. Ladies and gentlemen, MAGA's finest are so special. Imagine being so triggered by something like that. That's wild.
I find it ironic. Sorry, I'm just getting back in my vehicle. I find it ironic that Mr. 6 Followers is like, nobody cares what you think.
Yeah, he's been up here before. Yep. How are you, Jess? I didn't mean to kick you, but I just wanted to prove a point there. So you come back up here.
I've had some bad news at work today, but I'll tell you about that later.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not about work. Well, just about stuff. Okay, I'll tell you later.
Okay. Well, get home safely.
So you all got well, I'm just going to sit here for a bit. So you all have to cheer me up, please.
Yeah, we're here. We're here to cheer you up. Everybody send love and hearts Erica's way, please. Philly Bro, Final Boss, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Is this Penguin?
No. What?
Okay. Why did you request?
Because you said fake Christian.
Yeah, are you a fake Christian?
No, I'm real. I'm a real Christian. I'm a better Christian than you.
I'm not a Christian. Who'd you vote for?
You should be.
No, I shouldn't be, because Christians can just hide their hate and call it faith.
Right, but I don't
Who'd you
hide
vote
it.
for? Who'd you
If
vote
I
for?
hate you, I'll tell you.
Who'd you vote for?
I voted for Trump because he's real as fuck.
Yeah, okay, and you're a fucking clown, and get the fuck out of here. Thanks for reporting me, you fucking cowards.
I was going to ask Philbro some questions about Christianity, and we'll see how real a Christian he is.
No, he just came up so he could report me, and they did report me, so whatever.
Of course he did.
Yep. Oh my gosh, can you just imagine just being so pathetic? Well, again, you guys can. You don't need me to tell you that. Here, this is for him. That might get a little rise out of them. Seriously, I have to find this one because this is the one that really triggers me the best. This one right here. Yep. Okay, everybody, cheer Erica up. Send her love, please. Are we lagging? No, I don't think so. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go back to playing some more of this audio.
In fact, according to public reporting, an independent forensic accountant reviewed the organization's finances and discovered evidence of gross financial mismanagement. I would note that this report has not been made available to any government agencies, which is, I think, alarming.
Yeah.
But a Republican advisor to you during your organization who read the report stated, and I quote, "I watched him run an organization very poorly, lose the confidence of donors. The organization ultimately folded and was forced to merge with another organization who individuals felt could run and manage funds on behalf of donors more responsibly than he could. I don't know how he's going to run an organization with an 850 and 3 million individuals." And that is the only comment we've had and the only access we've had to the forensic report. Mr. Haig said, "I do not believe that you are qualified to meet the open."
Hey, Paul, by the way, the Department of Defense has failed an audit 8 years running. So that would include the Trump administration too, Paul. You're here every day, Paul. You must really like my fingernails.
Overwhelming demands of this job. We must acknowledge the concerning public reports against you. A variety of sources, including your own writings, implicate you with disregarding the laws of war, financial mismanagement, racist and sexist remarks about men and women in uniform, alcohol abuse, sexual assault, sexual harassment, and other troubling issues. I have reviewed many of these allegations and find them extremely alarming. Indeed, the totality of your own writings and alleged conduct would disqualify any service member from holding any leadership position in the military.
Everybody tap like crazy, share like crazy. Let's push back against this bullshit. So we're only at 265, guys. If I could ask you all to fill the bar and please share it out and please gift hearts or roses just to keep it alive and engaged. Thanks.
That's
much
Reed,
like
right?
being confirmed as the Secretary of
It
Defense.
is. Yep.
Love
So that's the laundry list of
where our
his
troops will be.
bullshit. And I want to remind people again that this was a question from the Republican when he started.
How many
This is
how many
Tim
push-ups
Sheehy.
can you
Hold
do?
on. This is Tim Sheehy. This is the guy that replaced John Tester.
How many push-ups can you do?
I did 5 sets of 47 this morning.
What do you think what do you think our most important strategic base is in the Pacific?
In the Pacific, Guam is pretty strategically significant.
How many rounds of 5.56 can you fit into the magazine of an M4 rifle?
Depends on the magazine, but standard issue is 30. Senator.
And what size round is the M9 Beretta standard issue sidearm for the military fire?
A 9mm.
You get the idea. Bunch of fucking guys.
I just don't understand what relevance that has to running.
I want to point out something very concerning. Who does 5 sets of 47 push-ups?
Exactly.
What kind of monster is this guy? Like, come on.
It's not a coincidence.
47.
Yeah,
47.
I feel like when I was listening to it, that's what I said. I was like, what's the relevance? Like, what does that matter? We're not interviewing him to be a general in the army. We're interviewing him to be the Secretary of Defense. He's going to be sitting in a chair, not
Because
doing
Trump's
push-ups.
Because Trump's the 47th president. It's not a coincidence.
That is right. that is the most simp thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
No.
Yeah. And I want to point this out again. We know the things that he has talked about when it comes to if I can find this. His feelings about women in the military. He's stated it publicly dozens of times that women should not be in combat positions. He feels like the standards have been lowered when he would be the person that would lower the standards. He doesn't believe that members of the trans community should be serving in the military. He calls them a distraction. So this is all part of the agenda. So basically, he's also said that he's on the record saying, as reported by numerous people, that at one point in a drunken rage, he said, "Unalive all Muslims." So he believes only apparently white cis hetero males should be serving in our country. But even in the smaller list, because according to Agenda 47, and I've read this before, under Return to Peace Through Strength, Chapter 10, Modernize the Military, he wants to get woke left-wing Democrats fired as soon as possible from the military. So
I just want to
once
point out
again,
that
that's the SecDef.
I just want to point out that every time I'm arguing with somebody of MAGA, they always compare AB to drafts, right? And when you push out women and woke Democrats out of the military, and by and large, the military hasn't been recruiting as many people as they have over previous years. It's gone down significantly. And what do you think that could possibly potentially incite for them to maybe bring back a draft? Because how else are we going to get people to serve? So there goes your draft argument when comparing it to AB right out the window, you tard.
Yeah, I mean, recruitment's already down. We know that. I mean, what's the incentive anymore? Obi was up here talking yesterday about everybody has a variety of reasons that they, Laney talked about student loan forgiveness. People do it for the GI Bill. People do it because of maybe a moment in their life. Maybe they decided to honor their family. Maybe it becomes a generational kind of thing. Everybody has their own reasons, but recruitment's down. It's just down, and it has been pretty precipitously for quite some time, right? So now you want to people that are voting, I know, a constitutionally protected right to vote, right? Just because they might vote for a Democrat, they're going to be kicked out of the military. How would that work? I mean, literally, how would that work? So yeah, and SCOTUS is not going to announce the TikTok's decision today. We're expecting it on Friday. So I should use this opportunity to remind people that we will be on YouTube. So here's the plan over the next 72 hours. Regular live tomorrow. Today's Wednesday, right? Yes. On Friday, we're going to do a Voices of Victims live. We're going to be featuring our new friend Julia, who is an S trafficking survivor. She's got a crazy story that she'll share with you on Friday. So I want to make this sure that everybody knows that our space is always about raising up the voices of victims, and we'll do more of that on Friday. We'll be joined for some of our live with our friend Daniela Mestenik-Young, who's the dating cult lady. So again, a lot of similarities in their stories, although in different areas. So that'll be on Friday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time. And then this weekend, we will do I don't know what it will be, what we'll call it. Maybe it's just a celebration of us and our community. We'll either do that probably in the evening because RJ's going to do his live in the morning. I'll probably join that, and then maybe in the late afternoon or early evening, we'll do something so we can include more people. We'll try to make sure that we can some time for Erica because she'll be 5 hours ahead of us. And then assuming that the 19th is at midnight, we go dark. We don't know. So if that is the case and we do lose TikTok, we will be on YouTube. I don't know if it's going to be Monday morning just yet, but it will definitely be Tuesday at the latest. We don't know. Although Zeppo reached out to me yesterday. We were talking briefly, and he and I are going to connect later. He might have help with us with our YouTube solution, Jess, just so you know. So I'll be checking in with him later today. So we will be on YouTube. We'll be on YouTube for now, friends, but I will be on Favorited. I'll be on Blue Sky. I have an account on X, but I'm probably not going to use it. I only was over on X just to monitor some good clips, but that's our plan, right? So that's our plan. All right. Anybody have any thoughts or comments on that?
Just like, I'm planning to stay up until you all go to bed on Saturday night, like whatever time you go.
Okay. Could be 5 o'clock in the morning if we go to midnight.
Fine. If I can have a sleep in the afternoon, it's fine.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
my favorite sentence when you say you can have a sleep. It's literally my favorite thing that you say. I can have a sleep.
I could make it more British and say I'll have a kip,
Yes.
which means
have
the
a kip.
same thing.
And I said this to start the show, and I think this is the part that bothers me the most is that because Eric and I've had this conversation, Jess and I've had this conversation. In case you guys didn't know, I'm an empath, so I feel this shit. Like I really feel it when other people are suffering. I feel it, and I always have. And the bad part about being an empath is you'll never get back what you give, but that's what we sign up for. When I look now and I see well over 100 million people in our country that just don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves. They just don't care. Men, women, gay, straight, trans, BIPOC, white, it doesn't matter. Because there's so many people in all those communities that fall into that same category that they just don't care. And whether you don't agree with everything from one particular party, that's part of the beauty of our democracy, is that we're supposed to have these civil discourse to solve problems. And Lainey put it best that the trans community doesn't throw it in their in your face. It's thrown in their face. Why? Because they just want to exist. They just want to be who they are. Why? Because women just want to have rights to their body. Why? Because we want to fund education. Why? Because we want universal health care. Why? Because we want to stem the gun violence in schools. Perhaps prevent the next mass alive event in a school. Why? Because we care about our environment. Why? Because we're sick and tired of billionaires ripping us off. That's what makes us threats. So for people that just literally just don't care, as of noon on Monday, our country will no longer exist as it's been. That's not hyperbole. That's reality. Never again can we say to the world that we believe in the rule of law, that we believe in democracy, that we believe in freedom for others. No way. That's gone. It's just gone. And that's because of laziness, apathy, entitled voters. I don't know the future of the Democratic Party, but I have thought long and hard over the last couple of weeks about becoming a third party voter. I know that if it came down to a general election, I know where I would lean, of course. But why not prop up third parties? There's never been a viable one. I'll run for president. There you go. I mean,
Steve for president.
I don't mean to sound, we've got the Democratic Party has failed in so many areas. It's fine to have these views on human rights, but then you vote against it. Yesterday, you vote against trans athletes in sports. You don't recognize them. You don't do enough to protect the rights of others.
A freaking fox has just run past me. I'm really sorry. It just freaked me out, like literally a fox.
Maybe it's a sign. Who knows?
It just peed on a bush, if that helps.
It just peed. You just peed on a bush?
No, not me. The fox.
Okay.
I was about to say.
Yeah, I mean it's not just failing at the messaging. It's just the inconsistency of it, and people don't care. And that's the part that stings the most as an empath. I want to fucking help everybody. Like I want to help everybody. And I know most of the people in our community feel the same way. And we've got people that are just fighting to take away rights of people. Just letting people fucking exist. Don't even recognize our country anymore. We just don't even recognize it. And it's just because of Christian nationalism. And because of lies and misinformation and Fox News and right wing, speaking of Fox, and the right wing echo chambers and all this shit. It's just like, yeah, I mean, again, the Democratic Party are afraid of the progressives. They're afraid of AOC and the Squad and Bernie. I mean, it's just crazy. Anyway, thoughts, you guys?
I mean, the other people from the rest of the world, the vast majority of them, and there'll be a lot of them in the comments now. Not a lot of the world, but you know what I mean. We're all we're all looking on with our mouths agape, like just not able to understand how you're doing, how not you, how your country is doing this to yourself. And I know that you guys have got the same opinion, but I'm gonna say it again. He's a guy, and I sent this video to Obi. He's a guy that should have been ignored when he was in the bar with everybody making all these silly comments, and everyone should have just said, sure, okay, have a great night.
The drunk guy in the corner. Just ignore him. Yeah. He's here every Tuesday for wing night. Just ignore him. Hi, Obi. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning. Greetings and salutations. Erica, good afternoon. I hope you enjoy the video presentation I sent. No, there was no brass pole, no chaps, no leopard print underwear for those who are wondering at home.
Right. Sure.
It was a discussion about game theory, cryptocurrency, and foreign exchange trading.
And in your world, Obi, that is pole, chaps, and leopard print underwear.
Well, Obi, a couple of the teachers have asked if they can watch it as well, and I've said, of course they can. I will distribute it.
I think it's great. I heard the story. I think it's fabulous. How's everything going out
there? So the winds are going to start kicking up. So if you do any of the praying things or thinking happy, positive thought things, please do, because the people who are being impacted still by the Palisades fire are going to be impacted again, because the winds can get up to 60 miles an hour. And what happens is an ember, which could be a 4x2 inch chunk of wood or housing material, will get lifted in the air and blown onto other buildings that have not suffered from the fire. And that is why these fires were so massive, not to mention the fact, as John Stewart pointed out, we had fucking fire tornadoes.
Exactly. Now,
you can deny science all you want, but the climate is changing. So I'm worried about those people. We keep finding more and more people in our lives that have been impacted by this. And it sucks, because the GOP is playing politics. Trump once again did not address our amazing governor, his invitation to come out here. J.D. Vance, he's a punk and a coward. So I'm not surprised that he also, when asked, straight up avoided the questions. And my anger is not for the people on the right, because they just fell in line and did what they were supposed to do. My anger is at the people who supposedly are on the left.
Correct.
Fuck all y'all that didn't vote for a woman, the most qualified candidate, right? Because your fucking fifis were hurt.
Correct.
Fuck your feelings.
Correct.
All of this is your fault. The reason why Pete Hegseth is going to be the next Secretary of Defense is because of you. Fucking live with it. And don't come up here. Don't come up here. I'm not saving you a fucking single space. I don't want to hear a fucking word out of your mouth. This is all on you. White women, get fucked. What the hell is your problem? Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ, right? And in other news, on inauguration day, I'm going to be having a fuck inauguration party. So if you want to join the Gen X palate cleanse, we'll be talking about all things that aren't related to the inauguration. And I think my focus will be on how amazing of a president Jimmy Carter really was. And that what we should be talking about, that does not get talked about, is how people who wanted Ronald Reagan to be president went to Iran and paid them money so that the hostages wouldn't be freed until Reagan was sworn in as president. Let that fucking sink in.
Yeah.
Because this is the shit that we're up against right now again, because all you apathetic fucking losers stayed home.
I don't know.
I'm sick and tired of you. I'm sick and tired of you being on lives going, well, and then none of you fucking understood what a Palestinian Arab was until you saw something on TikTok. So fucking miss me with all your bullshit. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You have no knowledge of the fact that in the 1930s they decided to become a people. That before that they were Arabs that were living in Syria and Jordan. And Jordan kicked them all out because they tried to kill their king. This is the shit you people don't fucking understand because you're willfully ignorant. And you sit here on the left in our fucking big ass tent, which I want to make smaller. I want to start kicking you people the fuck out. We are where we are today, and people are going to suffer over the next 4 years because of your fucking willful ignorance. Fucking please. I hope this app shuts down so we don't ever have to fucking listen to them again. It's so fucking annoying.
Obi. Spicy.
So fucking
spicy.
annoying.
That's right.
I'm
So can
angry.
You should
the other correlation.
You should tell us how you really feel, though.
Oh,
Yeah, WOB
sorry.
and mention it. So I think it's so crazy that I'm thinking about these things now. The other correlation I just want to make really quick about the arguments from the right when you guys come up and debate is the argument of that Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. And you have now had several people who have cheated on all of their wives and literally slept with different women on their way to the top. So another dumb, bitter, angry argument debunked in your own right.
I don't know if you saw the news yet, Obi, but Mike Johnson has ordered the flags to be flown at full staff at the Capitol.
Yeah. So apparently the U.S. flag code, that is a fucking law. Apparently that law can be ignored. So in light of the fact that law can be ignored, I would like the governor of California to inform the federal government that unless they fly the flags at half staff as required by the flag code, once the proclamation by the President of the United States has been signed, which means for a full 30 days, we won't send any taxes over. Fuck you, red states.
Yeah,
you're done. You're fucking toast.
Tommy Tuberville, Mike Johnson, and Tom Barrasso in the Senate have all said that there should be conditions for funding for California. There were no conditions when the Democratic leadership were involved for North Carolina or for Tennessee or for Florida, Louisiana, or for other red states. And as a reminder, apparently in red states, when a natural disaster happens, it's force majeure. It's an act of God. But in blue states, it's woke DEI CRT. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would really love the movement to catch on that around the country, everybody, if you have your own personal flags, to fly them at half staff and post them on social media.
Yeah. I don't fly the flag anymore, and have it in a very long time, because I believe that displaying and flying the American flag only buys into the propaganda. And at the end of the day, it's a bunch of material that's been assembled and then made to look like a flag. Like borders, flags are also invented by people to segment people. And so I'm kind of anti displaying anyone's flag, because flags are like borders. They're meant to other people and segregate people. They're not meant to unite people. I'm not talking about like pride flags and things of that nature. Those are different. I put those in a separate category.
We talked about that
Just to be
earlier,
clear.
actually, about how when you see an American flag flown these days, you immediately, at least I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I make some assumptions about that, which is sad, quite frankly.
Not to mention the fact all the violations of the U.S. flag code that are constantly being displayed by the fucking maggots, right? The flag code is very clear. You cannot have a red stripe, a yellow stripe, a green stripe, a blue stripe. Your flag cannot be black, right? All of these things, it's like in there.
You can't have the Punisher on it?
No.
Okay.
Also, you cannot wear the American flag as clothing.
Oh, you can't wear American flag bikinis?
No.
Oh,
as much as I support anyone, anytime, feeling comfortable enough to wear a bikini,
sorry,
that
Erica,
would not be me.
You have to send your present back.
I was about to say, how are we doing this calendar then?
Well, Obi and I will wear our American flag Speedos.
That's right.
And hey, if we're raising money for the kids or for puppies, then I'm down. I'm totally down.
I mean, I have some very interesting boxer briefs. I buy MeUndies boxer briefs. Fantastic brand of underwear, by the way. MeUndies, not a paid sponsor, but very, very comfortable. And they come in all sorts of cool patterns. Like there's hedgehogs, there's dinosaurs, there's killer whales. It's fucking cool. There's corgis.
Are the graphics placed properly?
They're all over. Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Yes.
So they're the adult underoos.
Hey, listen. Underoos were the most amazing invention ever.
Totally.
Especially if you're a neurospicy child like myself. It was just it was a cool concept, right? So
So just for those of you who don't know, there is going to be a calendar apparently that we voluntold Obi for, that we voluntold Matt for. But Ben Dowdero will be featured, which means Obi and I will only need a day. Ben can take the 12 months. Matt can take a week, and you and I will get a day. I'm going to choose April 1st. That's the day that I'm choosing for my day. And it will just be a silhouette. And I'm sure those products will just fly off the shelves.
Are you writing this down?
We might sell one or two. And there'll be people who care about us who don't want us to feel bad. It's like when the author buys his own book, and that's the only sale.
I'm recording this so that I remember.
There are some box hunters out there, guys. Believe it or not, I think this calendar will be popular.
Add it to the merch
I have
store.
zero shame. Zero.
Same.
I don't care. I have a dad bod. Fucking embrace it.
Damn straight.
Well, don't embrace it unless you ask our wife for permission. That's all I have to say.
That's right. There's a comedian that I saw the other day. He's like, I've reached my mid 50s. I was working out the other day and I strained my fat.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, whatever. Who cares? Whatever it takes. Hey, if we can raise money for a good cause, sign me the fuck up. Don't give a shit. Look, I think.
Listen.
Go ahead.
I was thinking. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on a pair of cowboy boots, the chaps, a pair of boxer briefs, and that's it.
Yeah. And yes, they're assless chaps because all chaps are assless. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I never understand that, but that's because I ride motorcycles.
I have chaps too. Yep, no doubt about it.
Jess, do you have a pair of chaps?
I do.
We lost Jess. Erica, do you have chaps? Erica?
I'll never ever wear chaps on a motorcycle.
I've met some chaps, but I don't have any now.
And Jess, you don't have chaps?
I don't.
You ride a bike, why not?
No. Mm-mm.
I have them.
It's hot.
They're cozy. I love
Very
them.
hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Look,
I want to know if Erica has a riding crop.
Probably in her special room.
I was just thinking,
with all of her accessories.
it would be a nice shot for her to, everybody get a spanking from the foreign correspondent.
That could be page. That could be like the extra edition of the calendar. That could be like the BOGO, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the
Autographed.
dominatrix edition.
Erica's going to yell at you when she is able to unmute.
Yeah, no, she'll agree most likely. She stayed on mute. I think I'm gonna wrap, guys. Looks like
Hang on a minute. Stop.
Sorry.
Stop talking. I do have a riding crop. Because I used to ride horses, and so yes, I do. And the interesting thing about this whole calendar idea is when Matt said, well, we should make a girls one of all of you, and all of the women went, yep, cool, sign me up. And he was saying, well, I'll have to ask my wife. No, we didn't do that. We were just like, yep.
So are we giving Matt credit because he had to ask?
No, just no. Well, are we giving him credit because he had to? No,
Okay.
no. We're giving him credit because he tried to get his wife to get him out of it.
Excuse me. And Mrs. McAngry
Bless
was
you.
all in, right? Thank you.
Mrs. McAngry was like, I'm down.
I don't have anybody I have to ask.
Yes.
I don't have anybody I have to ask. I just have to, I'd be like, sure, whatever, I don't care. I'm with Obi. No pride. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look, I shook
I
my
would
ass.
never
I shook my ass for charity. Why not? Why not get in the calendar? I don't care.
We have
I
a
would
video
never
of this, guys.
I would never expect to be asked. I do what I like.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Hey, we're gonna wrap a little early today, friends. We're gonna rate our friend RJ. So listen, I know it sucks. It's really kind of a weird sort of thing right now. There's a lot of the unknown that we don't know about. There's a lot of things that we do know, and it's all been by design. It's intended to distract us. We know what MAGA is and what they represent. They don't care about anything but themselves. They're dishonest. They are grape apologists. They are willfully ignorant. They are fake Christians. They are hateful. That's who they are. We know that. To Obi's point, though, there's so many of us who claim to be on the left that just did not fucking show up. Twice. In 2016 and again in 2024. And we have ourselves to blame. I love you all very, very much. Appreciate you guys. We're going to rate our friend RJ, and we will see you back here tomorrow.